Welcome to my AMA Fireside Edition. Alternative title, Brooke drinks for the first time in like 4 months. I'm getting like steadily drunker, so I just gotta do this. Alright. Please forgive me. I don't even know what order I'm going in. I think I'm going like middle to like most recent to last to like least recent. Whatever. Oh yeah, this is a Twitter thing for those of my subscribers who are not Twitter users. I don't know if you hear the music. This is mostly just for me because I kind of need music right now. So, Ray asks, what else have you been addicted to? How many of those addictions are addictions others might find commendable? What are your biggest losses? Well, that was like a bunch of questions at once, Ray, but I'll give you a pass for it. Those were like, I mean, I listed on Twitter, cocaine, heroin, crystal meth. Those were the big three, I would say. Cocaine, like 2 years, heroin, like a decade, crystal meth, like 3 years. I'm addicted to cigarettes, for sure. So how many of those addictions are addictions others might find commendable? That is a very interesting question. Are you just talking about drugs? I should have asked that before I tried answering this. I'm already like messing this up terribly. So drugs are tools, basically, is how I think of them. They are tools can use to create, or tools can be used to create or destroy. Drugs are particularly powerful ones with particularly severe side effects. My gateway drug was I mean, like, first time I never did any kind of drug at all. I was like in a bathroom snorting like 2.5 hits of pure MDMA with some older kids my senior year of high school. But I don't know that I would have gotten over my like inability to handle physical affection otherwise. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from all of my drug experiences, but now my mission is to try to share what I learned so that other people don't need to do the kind of things that like mess their lives up quite as much as mine did. What are your biggest losses was his last question. I believe it's gender. I don't know. Gender doesn't even make sense to me. I don't even know what genders are. Biggest losses. Where do we even start, man? So like I mostly kind of kept my life under control when I was using heroin. Was one of those functional addicts for the most part. Kept a job and everything. No savings. Slowly over the course of like a decade, lost contact with most of the people that were important to me. And it shut my brain off. I just didn't really like, and that was the point of it. I think it was a crutch, so I didn't have to think about the things that were upsetting. But so the main one with heroin were the just active thinking and the financial one. And then when I started doing crystal meth, I mean, I did more damage to my life in every conceivable way in the 3 years I was doing crystal meth than I did in the decade I was doing heroin. No question. Crystal meth will destroy you. It is not even that good of a drug for how much damage it does. Just saying that flat out. Like, I had a lot of fun doing cocaine, but crystal meth was not fun. I stopped communicating with anybody because the most minor problems become super just. You can't even deal with them when you're on crystal meth. Your brain just ceases to function as a normal human brain does, and I stopped talking to my parents. I stopped talking to everybody that I had ever been in contact with. Repeatedly had everything stolen over and over again. I mean, this was over the course of a lot of years, even before I was homeless. But I lost every bit of like digital media that I had saved. I ended up losing access to my old Google account, which meant that I lost access to all my old passwords, lost access to my Facebook account, which I hadn't really been using in like a lot of years. But I basically came back to my parents' house with a backpack and a kitten, or cat. He was kind of a cat by then. That's it. And when I reached out to my parents, it was after 3 years of not speaking to them. So I, for real, had a chance to like build a better Brooke from scratch. Like no history, no baggage, there's just all gone. There's nothing left. Nothing left. It's kind of awesome. Alright. Thank you, Ray, for that. Oh no. Okay, next is Chow Chu. Chow Chu. Show QC. What do you miss most about any of those other phases of your life? Pick whichever. See, I might just pass on this one because miss is like a really vague concept, and like are we talking like miss like I wish I could go back there, or like I wish I had more of that in my life, because my life is better now than it has ever been before, ever at all, even before it's almost even before anything ever. Awesome. It's awesome. So like whatever. I miss pre-pandemic conditions. That's what I miss, like hanging out with friends and stuff, because now that I like actually want to hang out with friends, I can't. So there's that answer. Metametrician, awesome name, by the way. Tell stories from Alaska was his declaration, but I think it was meant to be a question. And this actually ties in perfectly because I had said yesterday I was going to tell a story from Alaska involving LSD, talking potatoes, in the Mormon church. So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone right now, if I can talk right. This is not the right song, but if I try to change it, I'm going to mess up the video thing, so I'm just going to leave it, whatever. Alright, I just need to drink some more. That'll help, right? I'm not nervous at all. Not at all. I got this. Alright, so first time I went to Alaska, I was 17. My first like a real job. I'd worked like as a volunteer at the animal shelter and stuff like that. I met this guy, he was 22. He told me this story. And it is not my story. I don't even know if he was like pulling on my leg, whatever. Even if he was, this is an incredible story, even if it's not true, but I kind of suspect it is. Alright, so he tells me the story about the first time not the first time, one of the times he did acid. He was at some kind of like rave thing, some show in Anchorage, and he got some acid from a guy, went back to get some more from him later, and I took him out to his car, and under the streetlight there, they realized they'd been childhood friends and hadn't even realized it. So the guy was like, oh my god, let me give you this better stuff. Hands this other bottle. The guy goes, I don't know, something, the cat fell off. Oh no, it was almost empty. So they got a new one, and he went to put a couple drops in his mouth, the cat falls off, an entire like 100 hits of acid falls into my friend's mouth. He said that he immediately started crying because he'd never heard of anybody doing that much acid and being okay. The next thing he knows, he wakes up on the side of a mountain. I think it's 3 days later. And he told me for the next 6 months, he just was insane. That was going to be his life, just insanity. For the next 6 months after that, things kind of cooled down a little bit. He would see like 1 or 2 crazy visuals a day. You know, like see a bridge going like this and be like, okay, yeah, that is the acid. That bridge is not like having a dance party. But one night he was at dinner and his potatoes started talking to him, and his potatoes told him that he needed to undertake a grand quest to infiltrate some kind of organization that seemed good from the outside but was actually evil. And so he approached the Mormon church. And it was his potatoes, by the way. His potatoes were telling him this. So he approached the Mormon church and told them exactly what had happened. I don't know if he told them about the acid part or not, but he definitely told them about the talking potatoes, and they were like, oh my god, you have been touched by God. Will you please become a priest of our church? And he became an ordained Mormon priest. I don't know if this is true or not, but that is basically the best story from Alaska. Or like best story. Like this is the best story that I've ever heard. It is such a good story. And Metametrician actually said to tell stories from Alaska, but I didn't think far enough ahead and didn't notice the plural when I was reading this beforehand, so it's just gonna be story from Alaska for this time. Maybe next time, guys. Oh no, my thing went wrong. Oh no. Sorry. Musings of the void. What is the prettiest place you have been to? An excellent question from an excellently named account. The prettiest place I have been to is not actually a place, it's a phenomenon. Prettiest thing I've ever seen was the Aurora Borealis. Second time I went fishing. In early September, I think we caught a glimpse of it. I don't think it was at its full splendor. But if you guys have not seen the Aurora Borealis, like in person, videos do not do it justice. I like this song. It was green. The one I saw was all green. And the way it looks above you, it's like the rents in your dimension, in your universe. Just glowing green windows to somewhere else. And they fade. And they don't move. They don't move at all, but they fade. And they are breathtaking, and they are life-changing. They are not just pretty. They are something else entirely. Unknown Quant! Have you left a lot of people behind? Do you regret falling out of touch? Hey, Unknown Quant, the coolest thing now is that I wasn't talking to anybody that I knew from, like, my regular person life at all for, like, 3 years. And so when I came back to being human again, it was like, what is the difference between reaching out to somebody I haven't talked to in 3 years versus somebody I haven't talked to in 15 years? It's all basically the same thing. And so I've been, like, talking to people I knew in, like, junior high school and I haven't talked to since, like, way before I was homeless. And it's awesome. It is awesome. It is so great. But yes, I regretted falling out of touch. While I was homeless and scrupulously avoiding all emails from my parents and any of their communications, my brother apparently got married, had a child, and joined the Navy. Like, pretty much all the major, life events you could have as an adult happened while I was being an asshole. So that sucks, but I am doing my best to make up for it. Alright. Oh, wait. Hold. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Got 2 questions from Haas. He says, "Hey, Brooke, what's something you believed strongly 5 years ago that you do not believe now?" Well, Haas, funny you should ask. I'm not sure that there is anything that I believed 5 years ago that I believe still now. I am it's like that whole reborn thing, but no religious connotations. I am just I feel like it's more like a chrysalis kind of thing. But not a butterfly. Definitely not a butterfly. I'm definitely more of a cross between a firefly and dragonfly. Something kind of zappy and fluorescent. But I don't zap people, I zap ideas. So 5 years ago, man, I was not even remotely no. Even 1 year ago, it's just no comparison. No comparison. But he actually asked, or she, Haas actually asked 2 questions. Second one was, what's part of your personality you consider to be off-brand? Like what would surprise people that know me on Twitter, which is kind of hard because I've been pretty blatantly above board with every aspect of my personality, but I would probably have to say that I have watched YouTube videos on how to apply makeup properly, and that I'm really bad at it, but I kind of really want to be good at it, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit it. Also, I have been to board game conventions, and I really, really, really love board games, which is probably inferable from what I've said, But what is this accent? I don't even know. This accent is for loco. Okay. Alright, last one is the hardest one, which I lost now because I hit the wrong thing. No, come back. Come back. I don't know how to do video editing and stuff. It is too hard for me to want to deal with. So you guys are just going to get all of like this monologue and stuff for like a stream of thought. Dalton Emery was the first person who responded. Thank you, Dalton. You are awesome. I like you a lot. Yes, 2 questions. Second question. We're going in reverse order here. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? I don't actually believe in fighting. I'm like super non-violent. So I would say that I would rather convince all of them to be my teammates / sidekicks, whatever, and we'll go kick some ass together. Also, ducks are really cute and horses are awesome. So like that's way too hard to pick. Alright, but his main question was, you have mentioned your master plan for worldwide chronic happiness. If you were training an army of little happiness spreading elves to assist you in your scheme, what would they need to know? Excellent question, Dalton Emery. Kind of like combined first and last names there. Cigarettes out. Alright, so. Pay attention and then think. Feel and then think. Gotta learn self first and then we can learn other. Figure out how you can be happy and then you can start like spreading it to other people. It's very infectious. Like COVID ain't got nothing on me, bitch. Was that breaking TOS? I don't even know. But seriously, like all I'm doing, like I ain't got no education, nothing. But I've paid attention to what kind of things make me happy and then tried to think bigger. Always think bigger. If something works for you, maybe it'll work for your cat too. Like mornings. I used to hate mornings. I was not a morning person. Like very much so not a morning person. And then I said, mornings are great actually when I started actually waking up early. And like maybe my cats would like some like playtime in the morning. Because I like listening to like fun music in the morning. And it actually works pretty well. And I found that other people, like, it work, you know, something works for you, think bigger. Who else might it work for? And we can, like, distill universal things that way. But basically it's, yeah. I feel like I need to end this on, like, a... This music is also making me feel like I need to, like, end it on some, like, grander note than that. Yeah, we must first understand the self to understand the other. And yeah, once you understand the self better, like everything else kind of falls into place. Like it's weird, but it's awesome. But it is pretty weird. It's like totally opposite of the way that I thought we were supposed to be human. Like, you know, focusing on self is like has this reputation of being selfish, of being negative somehow. And I think there's, you know, the word selfish is a little bit ambiguous because it can mean self-focused, but it also means self-focused in a negative way. Just bring joy. Bring joy in small ways to whoever you can, whenever you can. And that's how we're gonna do it, guys. That's how we're gonna, like, heal the world and fucking, like, get shit going. Like, you guys with me on this? I need to stop this now. So